again, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Can't Wait. Sounds terrible. You know, we've had 55 episodes of Can't Wait. Sounds terrible. And the people have made one thing clear. We love the terribleness segment. We love to love the things that we hate on this show. Producer Grace, who joins me here, has put together a compilation of the best of Sounds Terrible, or maybe it's the worst or the most terrible of Sounds Terrible. You be the judge. And anyway, we hope that you enjoy it. It's a nice little summertime treat from Producer Grace to you. She made it for you. So it sounds terrible and it sounds fun. And we'll see you next week. Producer Grace, let her roll.
I would say my favorite What Sounds Terrible would be being the public information officers down in Florida, where there is the internet rumor going around that a man was kidnapped by dolphins and taken out and forced to help them build a city. And it became a viral sensation. And these rank and file public information officers are having to combat the information that the dolphins off the coast of Florida are not kidnapping individuals.
I'll jump in. So my little guy just lost his first tooth. It's been an excruciating process. It's like he's losing a limb or something. Finally came out yesterday at school in the library. He had to go see the nurse. He got the little treasure chest. Gets home and goes to put it under his pillow for the tooth fairy to come. There's a $5 bill under his pillow. I have no idea how the $5 bill got there. He thinks he's coming to me, Mom, did you put it there? No. Dad, I'm like, I don't know. So mystery, like maybe Buster the Elf put it there. I don't know, like last standing move from Buster. But like we had to like follow up with that. And the only cash we had was a $5 bill. So now my kid thinks the going rate for a lost tooth is $10, and all the parents are going to hate me.
Well, Patrick, once again, affordability is an issue.
I'm going to go with cruising, hantavirus. That's for a separate podcast if we want to talk conspiracies. But I mean, this week alone, I'm happy to say I've cruised recently. I knew it wasn't for me, and God will I never do that again. And even just let's eliminate hantavirus drama. We also in the same week had another cruise with like 100 people sick with norovirus. I mean, I would say for anybody who's looking to go on a cruise, now is probably the time. I'm guessing you can probably cruise for free at the rate that the cruise industry's getting hit right now. So, yeah, I'm going to go with cruising. Cruising / hantavirus. Sounds pretty bad right about now.
Eleni, I'm just so glad that when you went on your cruise, you canceled that bird watching trip at the dump.
Yeah.
Because this could have been a very different podcast right now if that weren't the case. So who knew that's where you go bird watching?
Never know.
I mean, what does it take for people to stop taking cruises?
Yeah.
I went on a lovely spring break with my family and got home to the beautiful environs of O'Hare and was taking the tram back to our car in the extended parking lot and said to Mike, so great. This has been a really easy trip. We took the shorter flight, like super smooth sailing, totally jinxed ourselves. We get off the tram, the little bus, we walk to the car, finally remember where we parked, and I got booted. I don't live in the city of Chicago anymore. Let me tell you about how the city of Chicago, speaking of buckets of money, like lining Tony Preckwinkle's desk, like this is a problem that like just let me at the department and I'll fix it because it's so absurd how we're running this system. So 2 parking tickets from over 2 years ago, like whatever address I was at that time, Somehow they couldn't find me. They found me for subsequent red light speeding camera tickets. So they can find me, just not for the parking ticket. The two. Booted us. My children were in tears, by the way. Thank you, Brandon Johnson. There is a person, and this was Easter Sunday. I just want to remind you, Easter Sunday, there's a person in a trailer at Chicago O'Hare who sits there waiting to take your money, and then some other time they send out the boot guy, and Ethan's like, why can't you just take this off? I'm like, because there's a boot guy, and he's got like a special key, and Ethan's like kicking it. I'm like, it's not gonna work. There's a boot guy who comes out and takes the boot off, and then you're free to go, and you pay your week's worth of parking at the airport. So that's pretty. There's somebody sitting in a trailer right now ready to take our money.
Eleni, what's terrible for you?
So we've talked on here about this podcast being like a psychic service of things that are said that it will eventually come to be in real life. This is more of like a karma sitch that occurred. So last week I was probably saying some really insensitive things about riding public transportation.
Yes.
I was saying, oh God, that sounds so terrible, riding public transportation in the heat. And so merely 24 hours after I said these things, I conveniently was in an Uber going to some event downtown, and my Uber caught on fire on the expressway.
And
Right
you
at
have
the
a
jump.
photo that you
I
can
do.
share of this.
Yeah, Grace, I'm sure you'll pop that up there of me on the side of the Kennedy. Just embracing. It was like 98 degrees. And one thing to note is that, and I've shared this with several elected official friends to fix, is that you can't get an Uber on the side of the highway. That's like not a thing. So when
Generally
you put,
front on.
so when you put your address, like, hey, I'm here, it gives you an address of somewhere not on the expressway. So that was like karma coming back at me for trashing public transit. So as some people know, I started a campaign last year. It was hashtag done driving. And so now that's been canceled, and it is hashtag done Ubering. And I'm back to driving and behind the wheel. So pray for everybody. And I also want to close with for everyone to know that was not my first car fire. So that's I want to add here, and this could be my sounds terrible, and I had a different one that I'll say for next week, but I'm going to add here because I think our listeners will appreciate this. So I'm all in the same parent train. I'm not religious, don't really care, whatever. They signed the kids up to go to Greek school this year, and it's at the church, right? So I had to explain, hey, it's like a first week I'm driving them over there. I'm like, hey, on occasion, you're gonna have to go to church. It's this place here that has icons in it, whatever. And I said, and in the Greek church, you take communion at your baptism. So like, that's your communion. You can take communion whenever you want. So I said to them, hey, they might ask you to take communion if you would like. And they said, what's communion? And me being who I am, I was like, it's the blood of Christ. And so I had two screaming kids that I was dragging into Greek school saying, I don't want to drink the blood of Christ. Okay. And like that parent is staring at me, and they're like, I don't want to drink the blood of Christ. And occasionally they'll bring it up. I'll be like, hey, like 6 months have gone by, right? Like they've gone a couple of times. I'm like, hey, they might ask you again if you want to take communion. And they're like, we do not want the blood of Christ.
Oh, God.
Okay. So pretty terrible there, too.
I'm guessing we're not going to get picked up by the Vatican network.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Pope's not coming on as a special guest anytime soon.